So, Mega Drive version. Right off the bat, if you run all the way off the first platform you're standing on and make a leap of faith, you'll find a zombie powder bag just sitting over there in a random vine spring. So like I said in the Super Nintendo video, there is one thing that I think that the Super Nintendo version has over this version, but it's sort of a personal thing, like a personal preference kind of thing. Other than that, I really like the design of this level a lot more than the other one. It's a lot more open, and it actually feels more like a treetop than some weird maze that the Mudrakes constructed to test ducks and whatnot. There's a new little quirk with the springs. If you jump onto one from a really high place, it'll actually jump you higher. It's based on how high you jump, and the spring will throw you up to the same height as you jumped. So let's say I jumped 10 feet, hypothetically speaking, onto one of these springs. So I go down 10 feet and I go back up 10 feet. Oh, good grief, the bungee cord is back. But at least it's not attached with a gigantic gimmick level that forces us to do really weird things. And no, it's just involving us having to jump all the way down, grabbing onto one of these bamboo sticks, and building up enough tension to launch ourselves up to a certain height. So you need to be careful while holding onto these bamboo sticks because if anything hurts you, you're gonna end up losing your grip and you'll be flying into those spikes that are above you. About halfway on the second stick, you need to turn around and shoot a electric fire combination bullet because it's gonna hit that one Mudrake that will nail you with his boomerang if you don't try to take him down before you go down there, because it's gonna suck when he hits you and you're gonna lose your grip and then you gotta do it all over again. These moving platforms that move back and forth, they don't make you lose your grip if you just run off the edge of them. They'll stop you on the edge. So the only thing that will make you lose your grip is if you hit the jump button by accident or if you get hit by something. And that's the end of this section. Let's start up the next one. The next section is unfortunately entirely bungee cord based, but it's not nearly as bad because we can touch the ground. So jumping in this part is a little weird because the lower to the ground you are, the higher you'll jump, but the higher you go up, the least amount of air you're going to get when you jump. I guess that's to say that the cord is really too coiled up and it can't coil up any more than it already is. I guess that's the logic behind that. It's pretty standard affair, other than that there's a bungee cord attached to your butt. And of course we can jump down pits to get more height in our jump. Luckily no pits in this section are death pits, so hey, we get some free reign around messing around in pits. So before we go forward, we might need to pull out some extra firepower because once again there'll be mudrakes stationed at the corner of each of these poles, and if you're not quick enough, they're gonna hit you and you're gonna miss out on some bags of money. So for this little part, we need to hold on to those little moving platforms. And we need to time it so that when they reach their lowest point, we can let go and we'll get the most torque. And it's time for the boss. Now this boss is the frog again, but it's a lot different than most bosses we faced up to this point. Most of the time I say, oh, just use the fire-electric combination, but this time the grenade shot actually has a use. We're going to be feeding him grenade shots. That's what's going on here. No mudrakes to sacrifice, just lots of grenade shots in the mouth, and it pretty much will do the job. Here's what happens if you hang on to those poles for too long. He'll burp fire and make you lose your grip. And here's what happens if you get too close to him. He'll try to whip you off with his tongue. It didn't work there, which for the one time I wanted to demonstrate that, it didn't happen. Go figure. So we have to do this a couple of times, and if you miss your shot initially, there's going to be a big chance that he's going to whip you off the pole and you have to jump back up. And with so little health that we have right now, we really don't have the luxury of constantly jumping back and forth. If you do manage to get one inside his mouth and you go off screen, I'm not exactly sure if it counts it or not. It really depends on if you see the animation happening. Other than that, if it lands in his mouth and you go off screen but it didn't explode, I think it doesn't count. Which kind of gets a little aggravating, especially when he switches sides, because he's a lot faster now. And it's also really tough to get it in his mouth sometimes. And that's pretty much the entire boss. That's all you gotta do. And how this relates to the difference in plot between the two versions, it turns out we're gonna kill the frog instead of, appease it. So that's the only difference in terms of plot that's gonna happen in this game. And it's bonus stage time. I'm gonna include it in this video because the layout's different enough to look interesting to look at, but I don't have anything else to say about it. So enjoy the bonus stage. And that's the level. I hope you join me next time. See ya.